Dementia Sherpa, Epcot Center, you're back. Yay, thank you. Welcome. One of these days I'll get the hang of what to do with my camera so I can start right away. So today I wanted to talk about how to offer support. Hi Leilani, thanks for coming in. I wanted to talk about how you can best offer support from a long way away. Thank you for following Epcot Center. I appreciate it. I got to learn your real name. What is your real name? Tell me. How do you best support someone? Hi, Janet. Thank you. I'll try to remember that. Thanks for coming in, The Real Tiger. How do you offer good support long distance? Hi, Lisa. And I think it was you, Janet, that asked this question yesterday and inspired this scope today. So thank you. I appreciate the suggestion. And I'm kind of a mess. I'm trying to figure out a good background. We'll just go with boring today, okay? So one of the ways that I think it's really important to offer support, and first of all, I should clarify, I'm talking about support with your family members. So let's say that you are like Janet living in Florida and the rest I'm making up about Janet. It has nothing to do with Janet. But let's say that you have a loved one who lives in Washington, right? So diagonally up across the country. How do you support your loved one who's living with dementia, but also how do you support maybe your sibling who's taking care of your parent who's living with dementia? So long distance, if you have, oh, good for you, Janet, that's great. So maybe it wasn't even you that asked about support yesterday. But in any case, I'm inspired, so we're rolling with it. So if you're in a situation where it's long distance, one of the things is coordinating time zones, obviously, but sometimes you're in the same time zone and you still don't, there's still a distance there. So my number one tip is to listen. Please listen empathetically. And I think I said this yesterday, but sometimes whoever's doing the hands-on caring can get really burnt out because every day is a long damn day when you're dealing with dementia. So sometimes they just need to hear, that it's okay, that you can, that the person who's doing the primary caregiving can just vent without being judged. So be a good listener and let them blow off some steam. Then my second tip is be encouraging. And I say that about the person who's living with dementia too. Just be encouraging. Things go so much better. And this is true in life, right? Like, let me know if this is resonating with you. If we focus on the positive and we're encouraging, things just are so much smoother than if we're going, you didn't do that right. Or, no, that's not what happened. And I've worked with families that do this with their loved one, where everything that comes out of their mouth, they go, no, you're telling that story wrong. Or, no, that's not really what happened. Or, no, Mom, that wasn't what Dad said at all. Or what Shelley meant was, and it just turns into this whole thing. It's like, who gives a damn, right? We're just trying to get through the day and everybody get along with one another and create some good positive energy here. So, yes. Thank you, Janet. So, stay positive. Please stay positive. Be encouraging. Be supportive. Everybody's doing the very best that they can to get through this, right? Let's see. Another tip. Don't be judgmental. And I gotta be honest with you, this is a really hard one because I'm super judgmental. And I'm not talking about like even dementia. I'm just talking about as a person, I'm being honest here. I judge all the time. I judge myself. I mean, I don't like get on social media and be a jerk, but I'm judgy. And I think that most of us, if we're honest, are judgy. And the problem with that, and again, I'll speak to my own experience, is if you're spending a lot of time judging someone, you're really shutting down that avenue to having compassion and to letting kindness flow through, right? So, hi, thanks for coming in. I'm not sure what your first name is, but Black looks like the last name. Appreciate you coming in. So, instead of, oh, Leilani, I'm so sorry. So, yeah, frontotemporal dementia is really tough. He's living in a senior living facility. I'm sorry, I didn't know that, honey. I don't know how I missed that. So, let's not be judgmental. Let's make some room so that we can just have compassion and treat people with kindness and respect. And that definitely goes for our family members too. And you know what? Sometimes you just hang up the phone and you have to tell your partner, like, oh my gosh, I think so and so's a total idiot. And that's okay. You can blow off your steam there, but let them do that with you on the phone. And then other ways to be supportive are, offer your time. So if it's not realistic that you can be there every day, maybe you can come on a weekend. Maybe you can do one weekend a month. Or if you're cross country, maybe you can write a check. And I always think it's just really good to be super honest with yourself. So if you go, you know what, I was not born to be a caregiver, that is not my bag, and I can do a lot of stuff, but helping dad in the bathroom is not one of those things, that's totally fine. It's better to be honest than to get in a situation where you're like, sure, I'll help, I'll do hands-on care, and then you realize, like, I don't have it in me, right? That's just way outside my scope. So maybe you can write a check. Maybe you can help in that way. Or maybe you can do other tasks. Maybe you're not a born caregiver, but maybe you could do the grocery shopping or, housekeeping or whatever it is. There's always some way to help. And then finally, and I didn't remember how many things I said, honestly. I should pay a little bit more attention when I'm doing these scopes, huh? But just let the people that are, let's see, Leilani says I try and go at least twice a week and my brother goes too. I take him out to the movies. Wow, that's really good that you can still go to the movies. Because a lot of times people with frontotemporal dementia have a really short attention span. So that's awesome that you're still able to enjoy going to the movies. That's great. And it sounds like you and your brother are doing a good tag team there. So let the person in your family who's like the primary caregiver know that you're even thinking of them. So that could be like maybe you see an article that has something to do with dementia, or it could be something that just is a passion of theirs, right? And just forward them the article in an email, just thinking of you. Or send a text, thinking of you. And, with Facebook and Google and all of that, there are a bazillion memes out there, right? And little inspirational quotes or funny things. How simple is it to just find one of those or something that you see on Facebook or Twitter and just forward it, thinking of you. That's all you have to add to it. And people just appreciate knowing that someone is out there because when you have a family member who's living with dementia, as you all know, it's so isolating. It can feel like you're the only person in the world who's experiencing it. So it's really helpful if someone, is just thinking of you. That's a good feeling to know that. And then finally, send a gift card. Even just send a gift card, do something like that. Just so people know, like, you're thinking of me. I'm not alone. And for your loved one, as far as being supportive from far away, we talked about that a little bit yesterday, but I'll just give a little rundown on that again real quick. And that is, you can use send out cards, and somebody said it was Pixie something, I can't remember the name of it, but similar to send out cards where you can do that or send a postcard or something fun in the mail. You can also have someone where they live help them do like FaceTime or something like that. Hi, friendships. Thank you. So those are some ways that you can help them feel supported. And again, I'll just give a quick rundown on how you can help a family member feel supported when you're far away. Is encourage, be supportive of them. Don't be judgmental. Yeah, that's great, Leilani. I'm sure the caregivers appreciate that too. A third way is offer your time, your help, write a check, other resources, send a card, a text, a gift card. You can find, a funny meme or something, just a 2 second, I'm thinking of you text. And you know what? Here's a true story. Last year on August 26th, I was getting ready to head out the door and I was in kind of a hurry and something just told me, you know what? I had seen something on Facebook. I thought it was cute. It was about coffee. It was like coffee. You can do it. It said you can do it. And it was signed coffee. And I thought I don't know. I thought my dad would like it. So I saved it. And then I thought, just send it to him right now. So I sent him a text that had that attachment and said, I love you. And a couple hours later, he texted me back and said, I love you too, baby girl. It turned out that was the last contact I had with my dad. He died 36 hours later unexpectedly. So you never know when something is going to happen, right? So it just takes a few seconds to send a text to let somebody know that you're thinking of them. And you know what? That'll be something that you'll never regret. And you can really make somebody's day doing that, right? So forward an article or resource. That's a good thing that you can do. Something that they're interested in or something that has to do with dementia. And then listen. Just sometimes people just need to vent spleen, and that's really important. And I know here's an important one. I didn't say this one originally. So here's the sixth tip. Educate yourself. So if you don't know a lot about what they're going through or what's happening with the disease process, educate yourself, because it's a very different experience for somebody who's providing the hands-on care. If you're just thinking, if you only have a vague understanding of what they're going through, and maybe that is preventing you from being as supportive as you could be. My mom took care of my grandma who had Alzheimer's disease for almost 19 years. She took care of her the last 5 years of her life. And that's the really, really difficult part, right? Those last 5 years. My aunt, God bless her, but she didn't actually acknowledge there was anything wrong with my grandma until the last 3 days. Not weeks, not months, not years. Days. So you can imagine how isolating and tough that was for my mom. So just a little bit to educate yourself. I'm all over social media. You can find me at Dementia Sherpa or dementiasherpa.com, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Periscope, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. If there's social media, I probably do it, but not Snapchat. That's for the kids. So I am going to say thank you very much for coming on. Unless there are any questions about anything I said or anything else, I'm happy to answer questions. But otherwise, it's been a pleasure being here on Periscope with you today. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. And have a... Yeah, absolutely, Leilani. Anytime. Anytime. So, yeah. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. And thank you all for coming in. Appreciate it.